Havenwood was a quiet town. It nestled beside the whispering woods. Main Street was always neat. Houses had white picket fences. People smiled easily, they waved. They believed their town was safe, a sanctuary from the harsh world. Dr. Alistair Finch was part of this peace, their trusted, gentle dentist. He had kind eyes and a soft voice. Dr. Finch had been in Havenwood for years. He knew every family, every child. He remembered their first lost tooth, their braces, their fear of the drill. He calmed them all with a joke or a reassuring pat on the shoulder. His office was a familiar, comforting place. It sat right on the town square, a beacon of ordinary small-town life. Parents felt at ease leaving their children there. The waiting room was always spotless, magazines fanned neatly on the table. A fish tank gurgled softly in the corner. Soothing classical music played. It smelled of peppermint and cleanliness. Dr. Finch's certificates hung proudly on the wall. Framed pictures of smiling, gap-toothed children, everything designed to soothe, to reassure. There was no hint of anything amiss, just a normal dentist in a normal town. He was a respected community member. He sponsored the local school's bake sale. He offered free checkups during Health Week. He always had a kind word for everyone. The mayor often praised his civic spirit. No one had a bad word to say about Dr. Alistair Finch, the good dentist. He was an anchor in their peaceful existence, a steady hand in a world that could be cruel, or so they all firmly believed. But beneath this facade, Dr. Finch harbored dark secrets. A hidden room in his office held sinister tools, blood-stained dental instruments. Victims' terrified eyes haunted the shadows. The whispering woods hid his darkest deeds. Shallow graves concealed his crimes. His gentle smile masked a sinister intent. Blood-stained gloves told a different story. Desperate hands reached out in vain. Chains clinked in the dark basement. Sinister tools lay ready on the table. Echoes of screams filled the air. A hidden path led to his lair. Dr. Alistair Finch, the good dentist, the monster in disguise. The first sign was small, almost nothing. Young Billy Henderson came home pale. After a routine cleaning, he wouldn't speak, he just stared, with wide, haunted eyes. His mother thought it was just nerves. But Billy started having nightmares, screaming in his sleep, about the chair, about the bright light, and the doctor's smile, a smile that didn't feel kind anymore. He refused to go back, ever. Then old Mrs. Peterson complained. Her filling ached, a deep, throbbing pain. Dr. Finch had been so gentle, she said, but the pain lingered, it grew worse. He prescribed stronger medication. He told her it was just sensitivity, but her face grew drawn, her eyes fearful. She started avoiding people, staying indoors, whispering about a coldness she felt, a strange feeling in his presence. Subtle whispers began to circulate, like dry leaves skittering down an empty street. Patients felt unusually tired after visits, drained, as if something vital was taken. Some mentioned unsettling dreams, vivid images of Dr. Finch, his eyes, the metallic scent of his tools, a lingering, undefined dread. They couldn't quite place the feeling, but it was there, growing. Dr. Finch, when asked, would chuckle softly. He'd blame it on anxiety, the power of suggestion. His smile remained, but it seemed thinner. His eyes held a new, sharp gleam, a glint that hadn't been there before. He worked longer hours, saw more patients. He seemed more energetic, more focused. His calm demeanor now felt like a mask, perfectly smooth, perfectly in place, hiding something cold and patient. Mrs. Peterson was never seen again. Sarah Jenkins was nervous. She needed a tooth pulled. Her mother held her hand tightly in the waiting room. Dr. Finch greeted them with his usual warmth. "Nothing to worry about," he crooned. "It'll be over before you know it." Sarah climbed into the big padded chair. The overhead light was intensely bright. The smell of antiseptic was strong. She saw the tray of gleaming instruments. A cold fear began to creep into her heart. He hummed a little tune, a classical piece, the same one that always played, but today it sounded different, off-key. He prepared the needle, his movements precise. "Just a little pinch," he murmured. Sarah felt the sting, then a creeping numbness. The room began to blur at the edges. Dr. Finch's face seemed to float above her. His smile looked stretched, unnatural. His eyes, those eyes were watching her. As the drug took fuller hold, the sounds warped. The gentle whir of a distant machine. It grew louder, more insistent. Dr. Finch leaned closer. His breath was cool. He whispered something. She couldn't make out the words. They felt like ice shards in her mind. She saw him pick up a tool, not the usual one. It looked old and very, very sharp. A wave of panic tried to break through, but her body was heavy, unresponsive. She felt a pressure, then a sharp, distant pain, not just in her mouth, but deeper. A cold dread spread through her. She wanted to scream, to fight, but she could only lie there, trapped. Dr. Finch worked silently, efficiently. His face was a mask of concentration. Or was it something else? Enjoyment? The last thing she remembered before darkness was the glint in his focused eyes. Then something snapped in Dr. Finch. He grabbed the sharp tool with a twisted smile and went on a rampage, killing anyone in his path, with a smile on his face. Sarah woke up feeling groggy, confused. Dr. Finch was patting her shoulder. "All done, brave girl," he said, his voice gentle. Her mouth throbbed, her head ached, but beneath the physical pain something else lingered, a memory, a horrifying fragment of his face, the strange tool, the coldness. She tried to tell her mother. "Just a bad dream, honey," her mother said. "The medicine can do that." But Sarah knew she couldn't shake the feeling of violation. The town continued its peaceful routine. But Havenwood felt different to Sarah now. Dr. Finch's office no longer seemed benign. It loomed like a dark shadow on Main Street. She saw the fear in Billy Henderson's eyes. She heard the hushed tones when Mrs. Peterson was mentioned. One dark, rain-swept evening she had to know. She slipped into the back alley. The window to his private office was unlocked. The office was silent, eerily still. The familiar scent of peppermint was there, but underneath another smell, faint, metallic. Behind a large, ornate bookcase, she found it, a hidden door, barely visible. It creaked open into a small, windowless room. Another dental chair stood in the center. This one was old, stained, with leather straps. On a nearby table, tools glinted. Not modern tools, they looked ancient, cruel. And then she saw them, the jars, dozens of small glass jars lined on shelves, each meticulously labelled with a name, a date. Inside each jar, nestled on velvet, was a single tooth, perfect white, and under each tooth a tiny note, a piece of their terror, a whisper of their pain. The room spun, her blood ran cold. "Looking for something, Sarah?" Dr. Finch stood in the doorway. His smile was gone. His eyes were alight. He held an empty jar. "I always need new additions." He drugged his patients, abducting them to his house. There he drugged them again, ensuring they couldn't escape. Strapped to an old chair, they endured unspeakable torture. His tools, covered in blood, were instruments of pain. He pried their mouths open, extracting teeth with no mercy. Their screams echoed, eyes wide with terror. Each tooth a trophy, placed meticulously in a jar. His collection grew, each jar a testament to his cruelty, and he always needed new additions. The final chapter reveals the dentist's ultimate fate. Sarah's heart raced as she faced Dr. Finch, the man who had haunted her nightmares. But the confrontation took a dark turn. In a swift, horrifying moment, he overpowered her. Her screams were muffled by the sinister shadows of his office, and then there was silence. Sarah became another tragic addition to his macabre collection. The police were alerted by the growing suspicions in the town. They stormed Dr. Finch's office, but it was too late. He had vanished into the night, leaving behind his gruesome trophies and a trail of blood. Despite their best efforts, the police were never able to catch him. His escape was daring, almost inhuman in its precision. The chilling truth is that to this day, Dr. Finch is still out there, somewhere in the shadows. He continues his grisly work, killing people and taking their teeth as trophies. The townspeople of Havenwood live in constant fear. Some say they can still hear his sinister laughter echoing in the night, a haunting reminder of the horrors that lurk beneath the surface of their seemingly peaceful town. In the years that followed, the parents who survived the ordeal had children of their own in the town. They tried to cover up all the pain that the dentist caused by creating the story of the Tooth Fairy. They told their children that if they put a tooth under the pillow, they would receive money from the Tooth Fairy. The reality was far more sinister. The parents were shielding their children from the truth. Offering a tooth was a way to appease the dentist, to stop him from killing more children and people. It was an offering. Whenever the tooth was gone from the pillow the next morning, they knew he was around, collecting his teeth. The parents would give the children money to reward their innocence, but deep down they lived in fear, knowing the dentist was still out there, lurking in the shadows. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more chilling tales. Stay safe out there.